Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, it's Salla here. Today we are working with the prompt number 6 of Junk Journal July UK, and that is a fold out. I'm thinking we will make 2 pages of fold outs, so 2 different ones. I have brought in some coffee dyed paper. I have my pages from Hail Herbology kit from Be Happy Stationery right here. Once again, that is the official kit of Junk Journal July UK. And she also offers, I have mentioned this before and I will continue saying so because it's a great discount. She offers 50% off all through July with a code, and you can get that code from her coffee shop on the posts. I will try and remember to link the specific post down below so that you can find it easily, but definitely go check her shop out, and if you want this kit, it's available there. I also brought in just a couple of journaling cards in green. These are from my own kit. It's actually a freebie on my coffee shop. Will be also linked in the description. So I thought I might use these if I made any pockets or things like that. We will see what else I bring in, but now let's get started. I will speed things up again to make it a little bit more pleasing for you to watch. Thank you for joining me today, and let's get cracking. So yes, 2 folds, that's what I'm going to make today. I started by taking my journal, what it's called, a page off from my journal. And I also inked the center, not only for make it easier for you to see where the central line is, also to make it easier for myself. I started by taking a coffee dyed paper that is about the height of my page, and I also folded a little hinge that I can use to glue the page on the paper on my page. So this is going to be the fold out number 1. I was just looking at my page, trying to figure out how wide I wanted this flip to be, also considering how big my page was, or this piece of paper. So it was my limit. There I'm showing you how it's going to work. I actually ended up putting it other way around so that it, because I made that top flip a pocket, and I wanted it to face the middle section of the page. I often put my pockets like that. I put them on the open side facing in rather than facing out, so that if things will fall out of the pocket, it is more likely for them to stay inside the book, if that makes any sense. I feel like if it would be facing out, they would more easily drop out of the book completely. Then it was time to do some decorating, which I kept quite light this time around again. So I just started ripping the white edges of my pages because, like I do a lot with this journal, I print everything with 2 sheets on 1 page to make it a little bit smaller, because my journal is also a little bit smaller. Here I'm just trying to figure out how big of a piece I need to rip or tear out to cover the top flip of my fold out. I'm trying to make it just a little bit smaller than the page itself. Then I did some light inking around the edges. That's just the look I like. I've been following along with what Lindsey from the Vintage Button does. I will also link that down below. And she uses a lot of gold, like gold paint or gold markers on the edges, which is something I really like. And there I just sped up the process a little bit, and I covered all the pages of my fold out with pieces like that, just torn pieces with inked edges, and glued them on. And then I closed the pocket by gluing down the two sides. So yes, Lindsay's style is to use the gold paint or a gold marker, which I also think is super, super cool. I should do that more often. It looks really neat, really fancy. I love that. I will try to link Lindsay's channel down below as well. Definitely go check her out. She crafts really sustainably, uses a lot of like recycled things, actual old things, whereas I tend to use a lot of printables with just a touch of recycled materials and so on. You could see me there gluing my journal cards on a piece of coffee dyed paper before gluing them down, and now I'm going to finish this first page by making a small what I would call it, tab, basically. So I took one of the postage stamp images from the kit, Hell Herbology, and I glued it on a piece of paper from the same kit. Then did some inking all through the process, and I did realize that the backside of the stamp was still white, so I also took some coffee dyed paper to cover that up. At the same time, I of course was adding one more layer to this tab that is going to hang off the page a little bit. So yes, that is always good. Just a little bit of trimming, then a little bit of inking, and I think I was ready to. Or actually, I don't think I glued it on just yet. I think I figured I would put an eyelet on the bottom left corner first, so that it would hang off the page, and I think it would be smarter to put it on before gluing the tab on the page, so that I know exactly how much I need to leave hanging out. Plus, it's just easier to handle this little piece of paper rather than doing it with the whole page. Now I just glued it on, and then I went on a scavenger hunt on my stash to see what kind of a dangle I could put there. And I was actually playing with a few different ideas, but in the end I just decided to put on this really simple green flower charm. I don't think it actually needs more. There is another loop at the bottom of that charm, so I think later on I might put like a bead or something hanging from there. I don't know yet. We'll see. The problem is that I don't have any black wire or anything like that that would match the the theme or the feel of the dangle, so I might just leave it as it is. Then I lifted my, what's it called? Oh my goodness, the flu is really having the best of me right now. The fold out. Under the fold out, I just took that circle image from the kit or the page from the kit and glued it on to create some journaling space. I also wanted to include the bird. It's super cute, so I'm kind of using that like a hidden spot on the page that goes under all these flaps that I'm going to create as my second fold out. So my fold out number 2 is going to have 3 different flaps. Here I'm just putting the decorational parts on some coffee dyed paper and leaving more room on one side so that I can create a hinge. I decided that I didn't cut my pieces too well, so I ended up trimming some of them. But that's something I often do. If I have single pieces like this, I might leave them a little bit bigger at first and then just trim away the excess like I do here. I just do it by hand. It's not perfectly straight ever when I cut things, but it is what it is. It's a handmade journal, so I'm not too worried about that. Now you can see me scoring a little bit outside the images to create the hinge that I was talking about. It was a little bit of a brain twister to try and figure out where I should glue the images so that they would be on the right side of the papers. Yes, because I wanted 2 of the flaps to be on one side and then the third one to be on the opposite side of the page to kind of stack them. I skipped some inking right there. And now it's time to construct my page. So I'm kind of like trying to figure out what the placement will be. And I actually made a mistake at the end because I want this to open like the one flap opens from the right, then one flap opens from the left, and then the final flap opens again from the right. So one by one. But what I did, I actually left that butterfly image that you can see right here at the top, and I glued the fold out prompt on it. It's not a big deal. I can always just put the smaller butterfly image that I have as my third flap on the top anyway and just cover the fold out word with it. But I kind of wanted the fold out prompt to be visible whenever you open the page. So there we have it. I made a mistake. Shame on me. So the mistake is not actually in constructing this page. It's just in the decorations. I'm mentioning that right now in case I forget to mention it later on. Because the piece that I'm gluing these flaps on was torn, there's a little bit of uneven parts on the page. So that is why whenever I flipped the page open to glue the flaps on, or the hinges on, I decided to spread the glue on the torn edge of the page. If I would have just covered the whole flap with some glue, I might have accidentally kind of like glued the hinge on itself, if that makes any sense. I also only spread glue on 3 sides of this page cover, basically, if I might call it that, because I wanted to create a pocket under it. Then it's time to make a tag to go inside, or not a tag, a journal card to go inside the pocket there. So maybe I'll take the piece out. I decided to create a little collage. The base that I'm using is a piece of packaging. I use that a lot in my journals. I just covered the printed side with some coffee dyed paper, like I often do. So it's the coffee dyed paper that I'm making this collage on. I took some old book page and then I chose like my two favorite images, or a part of that strip that is also from Sandra's kit. Oh, Sandra is from Be Happy Stationery, who made the kit that I'm working on today. There we go. I'm just figuring out the placement. I also got to use the butterfly that I made in one of my earlier videos. I think it's so pretty, even if I say so myself. And it's super easy to make. It's literally just a die cut that I covered with some salvaged patina. And because the die cut is craft color, the salvage patina looks more like olive green instead of the bright turquoise that it usually is. Or not bright turquoise, but turquoise nevertheless. There we go. Just adding my layers after some inking. I really like the harmonic feel of this kit. It's easy to work with, and even though I often opt for some like contrast, I feel like with this it's quite easy to achieve as well. It offers a lot of like subtle backgrounds. I feel like it's easy to work with. That's what I'm trying to say. It's funny. There we go. Just adding the wishtail tab on the card, and I believe that's me almost done. Except for making the mistake with the decorations, because right now I have the wrong flap on top and I didn't think to check that. So here is the finishing piece that I'm adding. It's the fold out prompt of the day on some coffee dyed paper, and I also decided to include that tiny butterfly on the page. And that's the page or spread done. This is our day 6. Let me zoom you in a little bit. Day 6 prompt filled with a spread. So here we have those two journal cards and a dangle. Then this opens like that and also has some writing space here. And this page opens like that and also that, and then finally that. There we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, leave a kind comment down below, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow for my next video. Bye for now.